Hi, this is Shannon. I'm working today on a 2017 Ford Fusion Energy. Here, let me show you. There you go. I have a trouble code P0072. It's the ambient air temperature sensor code. The problem with that code is it doesn't allow the air conditioner to come on each time. So the check engine light's on, and on the dash, the outside ambient air temperature is stuck at 50 degrees. So thinks it's cooler when it's 100 degrees outside. So I had to wait a while to get the wiring diagrams for this car because they weren't available until just now. So I have looked up the diagrams. So I'm going to put you on pause. So if you look right here, you'll see it says 50 degrees, even though the outside air temperature right now is like 80 degrees. And that's one of the problems, and it's got my check engine light on. Let's see. One of the big issues was getting a wiring diagram. I finally was able to get one from Mitchell for this year of car, and as you can see, right here is the ambient air temperature sensor, and it shows it going over here to the PCM control module. So what I did is I did a continuity check from the PCM here, and it happens to be there's two pins, pin 45 and pin 33. Excuse me, let me get you in here a little better. Probably hard to see the numbers, but you can actually see them and count your way back. Right now I have a pin in pin 33 because that happened to be the one that wasn't making good continuity to the sensor. And the sensor on the ambient air temperature sensor on this car is here in the front. I actually have it here laying on the ground. This is the temp sensor. I replaced it. The first thing I did was replace this, and it didn't help. It didn't change anything. So as you can see, these are just clothing pins. The terminals are so small, I had to use very fine pins so I could do a continuity check without having to pierce the wire. So we'll go back to the wiring diagram, since now I know that it was circuit 33 that was bad. You can see 33, it's the green wire with the blue stripe, and you follow it over, and you can see here that there is another connector. It's called the C134 connector. I had to find that. So fortunately in this Mitchell, they sort of let you know where it's at. It kind of looks like it's on the driver's side fender, but it actually is in the fender well. So I'll take you to the fender well. So over here, I removed the fender well, jacked up the car, and lo and behold, there is the one plug, and I've actually unplugged it now because I took out the turn signal because it made it easier to access. You can see what has happened here is the rats got to it, and they cut more than the brown. You can see the brown wire there. That's the one I was concerned with, but the rats actually cut through, it looks like, about 3 wires. So I'll have to repair all these wires and then do the continuity check again. But once I do that, it should be okay. I think one of the problems with Ford here is whatever material they're using to cover these wires, this tape covered in something a little different, so I don't have this problem. I see several wires down here to where the mice have been chewing on it. We'll tape up any exposed wiring like that one there, and I like to solder my connections. I don't use crimp connectors because they can over time get corroded, and soldering the wiring connections is a more permanent fix. So once I get these soldered, I'll come back and we'll see how I did. Okay, there you go. Okay, as you can see, I have soldered all the joints. I did one with clear heat shrink so you could see how I soldered it. But so this is clear heat shrink here, and then some colored heat shrink. So I heat shrinked them all. I still need to put a little tape on that wire there, and then I'll tape up this whole bundle back to so they're not sticking out, easy for the rats to get to. And hopefully once I plug it in, I'll do a continuity check and everything should be fine. Here we go. Okay, I've done the continuity check and it tested okay. So I've plugged the ambient temp sensor back into its harness, and I've put on the ignition. You look in here, and what we're looking for is something other than 50 degrees. I need ambient air temperature, and there it is, 73 degrees. So that's wonderful. It has been stuck on 50 degrees for 4 or 5 months. So now what I need to do is I'll have to clear the check engine light, reboot the system, and everything should be okay.